Have you ever witnessed a situation or a scenario where a school leaver scored over 300 points in the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME? At that, either the student was not admitted into the university, or the student was admitted into another department. These are issues and these are scenarios that school leavers found themselves while trying to get admitted into Nigerian federal universities or Nigerian universities. Welcome to another interesting episode of Daily Drip. This is a program where we discuss issues and events that help speed your productivity. My name is Shamsudeen Gidado. So today we're going to be looking at how do students actually get admitted into the university. So looking at the processes that the law or the processes that the law agreed to get people admitted into the university system. So we're going to be looking at that. So year in, year out, we have over 1.7 to 1.9 million as out of the last Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination conducted by the by JAM, that's the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. We have close to over 1.9 million school leavers registering for the UTME, and we've actually said the Nigerian University has been struggling over the years of admitting between 400 to 600,000 students. And majority of anybody coming into registering for the UTME, their goal is to have a university education. But a lot of people's wishes have been dashed into the air because of their scenario. A scenario was actually recorded of a student who actually scored over 300 in the UTME and unfortunately applied for the MBBS in the University of Lagos, but still at that student was not admitted into university. And to make the matter worse, the student was said to be from the eastern part of the country, so there was issue of tribalism and a host of other things. But the management actually came out to actually explain how these issues are, and that's the more reason why we're going to be trending this issue today. So for us to actually know how university education, the university admission process looks like. So according to the law, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, when it was established in after the Civil War, there were some criteria which were set for the admission of students into the universities across board. So we have number one, students are expected to be admitted based on merit. So which means that when the university set a particular cutoff mark to be admitted for admission into a particular department, so which means that that same cutoff mark must be followed to the latter. The second process or the second criteria for getting admitted is when you are from the same catchment area with the university, the host university. So assuming now you're applying to Ahmadu Bello University Zaria and you're from the northwestern part of the country, because Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, ABU Zaria, is found in the northwestern part of the country, so definitely you will be admitted into that particular, you will be considered for admission into that department. Now you must have actually met the criteria, but you must have actually scaled through the cutoff mark. So we do have a situation whereby a whole lot of students actually scaled the cutoff mark, but the university has a number carrying capacity that they can admit. So what they first consider is you must have meet up with the cutoff mark first. Then they will now consider another criteria they used to consider is the catchment area, and the last criteria is what we call the ELDS, of which we're going to be trending on today's episode of Daily Drip. So now the ELDS is the big issue. So what is the meaning of ELDS? We have the educationally less developed states. So these are states where education is said to be low. There is a number of educated people in that particular locality is usually low, and this was an issue. So the brain behind the educationally less developed states came about after the Nigerian Civil War, and they needed to be the issue of reintegration, rehabilitation, and the issue of that is the issue of rehabilitation and the reintegration into the society. So there's need to actually show that the Nigerians are one. So that's where that gave birth to the birth of unity schools across the country for the secondary education. And for the university education, the law says that at least one person from every state in Nigeria should be able to attend a particular federal university. So when you look look at this issue, you have a situation whereby on an average, somebody like a federal university should have a representation of at least one person from a state who is being admitted into that same university. So we now have 23 states who fall under what we call the educationally less developed states. So when we look at the educationally less developed states, we have Adamawa states, we have Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River states, Ebonyi state, Gombe, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, and Zamfara states. So in all this, we have only one state from the eastern part of the country, and we have the bulk of the states representing all the northern part of the country. So over 30 years of enacting this act has not been repealed, so which gives it room for people to be admitted across the country. So now let's look at the figures. So for somebody to be admitted, now the quota that is being admitted. So for students to be admitted, you have 45% for merit. So what this means is that if you are admitted, if you are qualified for an admission, so you the first set of people that are being considered are those that the first 45 people that the first 45% of people that merited the admission. That is, they scale through and they have the highest score. So what that means is, in layman's term, is if, for example, a student is applying for an admission into the University of Lagos, and the MBBS cutoff mark is slated for 300, and we have students, like 100 students who scored over 300. So they are going to get there is the 45% of them in ranking order. So the first 45% that have the highest cutoff mark, these are the first set of people that are going to be admitted. Now, for the remaining people who applied and they still fall within that range, they've been able to scale through. So another way of considering them for admission is through the catchment area. So you now look at, okay, fine, what are the catchment area of University of Lagos? We have the northwest and the southwestern states. So they look at, are you from Oyo State? Are you from Osun State? Are you from Ekiti State? Are you from other parts of the country? So they consider you based on that. So for that particular category of catchment area, we have 35% of the admission quota goes to those people from the same catchment area. Then the last criteria, which is the ELDS, the educationally less developed states. So now, for example, you have somebody who is from Edo State, who is not for somebody who is from Edo State and he is not from Lagos State, he didn't meet up with the merit list, and he is also not part of the catchment area of Lagos, University of Lagos. So such person might not be admitted, even if he scores above somebody who is from Zamfara State. And for example, that person from Edo State has 320, and the person from Zamfara State has 310. The person from Zamfara State is going to be admitted because he is falling under the category of educationally less developed states, which according to the law he's supposed to be considered for admission for the reasons we've actually explained earlier. So these are the gimmicks, these are the ways in which the admission processes are being over time. So, and a whole lot of people might be oblivious of this fact, and they're just like, okay, I merited it, and unfortunately, this university didn't give me admission. But the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board in 2017 came up with what we call the CAPS, that is the Central Admission Portal system, which makes it central. So the university or other tertiary institutions admit people into the university, and after that, what JAM does is they try as much as possible to give the university the autonomy to admit, and they regulate. So JAM through the CAPS make sure that every student is being admitted, and no student, no candidate receive more than one admission across board. So if there are more students applying to a particular university, and there are less people applying to another university. So such university might say, okay, fine, this is our criteria. So if there is any students that meet up with this criteria, so that student should be able to attend that. But we know how the preference is. A lot of people are not interested in some universities because they have what we call the Ivy League schools, where you have like, okay, fine, the top, the first generation universities, and that's what a lot of people want to admit. So this is how the admission system works in Nigerian federal universities that we're focusing on today. So we hope you are able to get value from this video, and we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get latest episode of Daily Drip, and you can also follow us on all our social media handles at iMedia TV, so that you can have feel of what all activities and all our videos that will be dropping on those channels. Many thanks for watching. My name is Shamsudeen. I'm Gidado.